Thank you so much, Patna Sahodaya and Jamshedpur Sahodaya, for giving me the opportunity. I'm here. I'll begin with my session with a prayer. Om Sehna Bhavatu Sehno Bhunattu Sah Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om, everyone. Teachers from Jharkhand and Bihar. Today's session is very important. I take it important because it speaks about developing critical thinking among students. Okay, just a minute again. Yeah. Yeah. Today I'll be talking about the vision, objective, meaning, key aspects, practical strategies for implementation, and then I will talk about conclusion. Okay. Uh, Why it is not going? Let it be there. I will put the full screen. Okay. To the this is not going. Okay. Today I am going to talk about this. To develop an educational. Uh, this is not going. Expand my view of this. Okay. Develop an education system that is deeply rooted in Indian ethos, which has capability to provide the high quality education. Okay. Now, it also, speaks about the curriculum and pedagogy that must develop a sense of respect towards fundamental duties and Constitution of India and have a deep bond of love with the country. To develop a sense of pride and respect for the country and be responsible citizens. Here, I would like to mention that we are talking about, 21st century skills that also talks about, critical thinking. This is very important. Today, I am going to talk about critical thinking. It also speaks about creativity and collaboration that I'll be talking about later. So today, we are talking about critical thinking skills, the objective of skill. Okay. Objective is to gauge and clarify prior knowledge about thinking as a skill. Thinking is a skill. It needs to be developed. Okay. Although there is some inborn talent, but it has to be developed. To give insight into the facts of thinking, to highlight the need for teaching and developing thinking as a skill. I'll be also talking about today types of thinking. I will highlight the strategies for the same. Now, the goal is to give children a sense of competence to become critical thinkers. Then, children need to know that they are worthy and capable of questioning the accuracy. That is critical thinking. I'm from Chinmaya Mission. Yes, and Swami Chinmayanandaji said, let us be critically intelligent. That is important. Okay, so critical thinking talks about the same. So it enhances the reasoning ability, analytical ability, problem solving ability, decision making ability, evaluating ability. Pareto principle, what is Pareto principle? Pareto principle says that whatever we do, 90% is, the work, and only we put 10% effort and we get 90% results. That is critical thinking. Okay, Pareto principle is very, very important for the critical thinking. Good evening once again, everybody. So here you want to give the children a feel of competence that yes, they can be critical thinkers. Okay, critical thinker means how we analyze critically anything. Okay, and it develops various abilities. Meaning of critical thinking. Critical thinking is a kind of thinking in which we question, very important slide, in which we question, we analyze, we interpret, we evaluate, and make a judgment about what we read, hear, say, or write. That is important. Critical analysis of everything is important. How to do that, how we can develop this skill in the students, I'll be talking in the slides later. The term critical comes from the Greek word kritikos, meaning able to judge or discern. Relevance, depth, clarity, precision. It needs critical thinking needs relevance. Why? Depth, clarity, precision. Okay, most of the people, those who are in higher up positions, they are critical thinkers. Why? Because they think the pros and cons of everything. It speaks of relevance, depth, clarity, precision, accuracy, logic, and fairness. Yeah, good evening, Indu. Now, critical thinking, very important. Critical thinking refines our arguments. Yes, it is, it makes us feel better. Creative thinking leads to merging of diverse ideas and leading to innovations. That is the idea. Critical thinking leads to innovation. Collaboration. It is collaboration is a part of critical thinking. We can think critically in individual and then we can think in groups as well. It's an ability to discuss and resolve differences. Reflection, this is important. Why? Because reflection is real thinking. How intellectually we are critical, okay, and that is very important. Reflection is the main aspect. It's a conscious and visible self-reflection, group reflection, and peer reflection. These are all three are important. Perspective. Perspective is important aspect of critical thinking. It has diverse points of views. This slide speaks about to develop critical centuries thinkers. They are open-minded. The thinkers I'm talking about now, they are open-minded. They engage in problem solving. They collaborate with others. They analyze, reason, evaluate, recollect, make real world applications, think critically and creatively. So let us allow children that they should be 21st century critical thinkers. They need to have all these qualities that they can think. They are open-minded. They should take things to heart. Healthy criticism is always important. Let us take healthy criticism. Then we can analyze critically ourselves and our aspects also. The key aspects of critical thinking. What are the main aspects? How we can go stepwise for critical thinking. Let us gather relevant information. Let us analyze and evaluate data. Consider alternative points of views. Draw logical conclusions. Develop communication system and solution. Reflect. Again, reflection. Reflection is very, very important for critical thinking. We cannot, unless we analyze, unless we come to a conclusion, unless we talk to people, unless we develop solution, it is just accepting things. Okay. So instead of accepting things, let us be critical of things. Evaluating and not only getting evidences. See, for critical analysis. See, I think after every board result, don't you do critical analysis? Yes, there's a very good example of critical analysis. You do. How many toppers are there? How many above 90%? How many above 80%? And again, when you analyze, then you start thinking what we should do next for the better results next year. Yes. Your school is developing because of critical thinking. Your result is your evidence. Students have been evaluated what the teachers have taught. And then they think, okay, what step we should take next. Okay, anyhow, I'll be talking about further again. So evaluating evidences, credibility and relevance, recognizing assumptions, avoiding fallacies, considering multiple perspectives. Okay, that is very, very important. Reflection is conscious and visual self-reflection. Every teacher thinks, why my physics result is not so good? Okay, my English results wonderful, whatever it is. So own perspectives. So you self-reflect, then reflect in the groups. Okay, and then you peers, and you discuss with the friends. What should I do? How should we improve? What are the measures? That is you. See, we are doing it unconsciously. We are doing it. Even the students analyze their results. Yes, why I have not done well in this subject? How can I do it better? All these. Okay. No, these are the critical thinking skills. Okay. Creating, evaluating, applying, analyzing, applying, understanding, remembering. But at the same time, higher order thinking skills where creating change into designing. Evaluation changes into judging. You have judged, you have evaluated yourself. Analyzing, organizing, structuring, outlining, applying, then using and implementing, understanding, inferring, okay, inference, okay. How you can bring out their new results from your own thought process. That is, a logical process. A new conclusion is inference. This is very important. New knowledge to prior knowledge. Okay. So remembering is recognizing, listing, identifying. So these are the critical thinking skills. Okay. Higher order thinking skills. Okay. Now, process I just touched a little. That is, analyze the problem, apply the thought process individually, group discussion, planners. See, you can see a bulb over there. You can think, why this bulb is there? दिमाग की बत्ती जली क्या? After critical analysis is what are the results you have received. Okay, it is very important. Okay, so we become happy when we get a solution. Not only that, we need to implement the solution. Let us evaluate the solution. Let us measure outcome. I spoke about the Pareto diagram. Pareto also says 90% results, 10% efforts. आप थोड़ा सा भी काम करोगे ना, तो it will दिमाग की बत्ती जली and you can do wonders. So let us measure outcomes. Okay. Sustenance is important. As I give an example of results, board results. Okay. After the analysis of board results, you plan wonderful results this year. Wow. Again, let us critically think that how we can sustain the results, how we should continue doing better and better and better, how we should keep on raising the bar. Critical thinking allows to raise the bar. That is important. So let us analyze the problem, apply the thought process. Let us discuss, implement solutions. Okay, we have raised the bar. This time, what we can do. So let us, sustenance is the key to success. Imagine, apply, improve. These are the processes of critical thinking. It is not only what we think, how we think, what are the outcomes, okay, and what are the benchmarks, what are the reasons that we need to think. A modest, open-minded temper that's always ready to welcome. A modest, open-minded temper that's always ready to welcome new light. Okay, a modest, open-minded temper that's always ready to welcome new light, new knowledge, new experiments. A must for sustainable growth. Developing science and scientific temper and aesthetics are the fundamental duties, okay, of Indian citizens. So enhances scientific method of decision making in everyday life. That is analytical ability. So critical thinking develops analytical thinking. Now, types of thinking. There are various types of, this is very important. There are 4 types of thinking: creative thinking, problem solving thinking, and computational thinking. Now, the question is, just a minute. Now, the question is creative thinking. I will tell you that creative thinking and, critical thinking, these two are, different. Okay. Critical thinking is a higher order thinking skill that analyzes, breaks down, compares, okay, perception, categorize, and lift and sequence. Computational thinking, okay. Now, creative thinking, problem solving, okay, critical thinking. Critical thinking talks about analysis, breaking down, compare, perception, categorize, list and sequence. Computational thinking. Now I'll go a little detail into that. Creativity is the skill in generation of ideas that shows of artistic expressions, everyday creativity, collaborative creativity, mental creativity. Just a minute. I just okay. Now, collaborative creativity, mental creativity. Now, creativity entails uh, three P's: person, process, and product. You can see how the chalk pieces are over there. Now, creative and critical, these are different. As I told you, creative thinking and critical thinking. These two are different aspects. Critical thinking, generating ideas, and critical is analyzing. Creative is divergent, critical is convergent. Creative is lateral thinking, critical is vertical thinking. Creative is possibilities, this is probabilities. This is idea generation, this is evaluation. This is intuition, this is logic. This is suspended judgment, and this is judgment. So critical thinking is higher order skill. Okay. Computational thinking is a problem solving approach, a way of thinking that allows to understand complex problems and their solutions in a way that a computer, human, or machine can carry out effectively. It develops solutions and design systems, understands human behavior, problem solving. All these are part of critical thinking. Problem solving is the act of defining a problem, determining the cause of problem, and identifying and prioritizing solution. Now, problem solving, an approach to solve problems that may or may not have a definite solution, focuses on developing conceptual understanding. It develops creative and see, unless there is a problem, how can you think? How can you give a solution? So develop creative and critical thinking skill. Research skills rather than right answer. Student-centered approach, okay, and learning driven by motivation. These are problem solving. Now, coming back to critical thinking. Critical thinking has four aspects. See, for any critical thinking, you should say agree or strongly agree. Okay, disagree or strongly disagree. That is critical thinking. Okay, you agree or not? You accept or not? You need to think time. Critical thinking is not spontaneous. You have to analyze, get the problem, analyze, get the solution, implement. More critical thinking is retained after a lesson is discussed. Think of, okay. I'm an English teacher. I'll take an example of English. Any poem. Any poem you teach in the class, you tell the student, okay, give a critical analysis of the poem. What is that? That is the pros and cons of the poem. So when they discuss, or any, I will give some more examples later. Okay, anything you pick up and take the both the aspects. So always discuss with a large group. By listening to different points of view, they can build on ideas. Now, what are the benefits? Benefits for critical thinking that leads to innovation, improved decision-making skill, enhanced problem-solving skill, improved communication, develop 4C. You know, 4Cs are 21st century skills: communication, creativity, okay, communication, that is creativity, again, critical thinking skill, and collaboration. Okay, so critical thinking develops all the four skills. Yeah, growth mindset. Again, there are two sets: growth mindset. The teacher needs to view students' ability to think as a skill rather than a trait. This is not a trait, it is a skill. Everything they should think. Okay, today, every example, today I'm going to school. Okay, how will I go? Think. Okay, making smart, healthy choices, fighting misinformations. You are going to a shop to buy something. Yes, teachers, you are going to buy something. Why should I buy? What should I do? What is the price? You know, so many questions you should keep in mind. Okay, so that is a skill. It has to be developed. Okay, madam has given homework. Shall I do it? Shall I not? If I don't do, what will happen? If I do, what is the result? Simple example. So growth mindset, difference between difficulty and complexity. Difficulty needs more effort, so raise the bar. Complexity needs approaches. So critical thinking needs approaches. ऐसा नहीं तो वैसा, वैसा नहीं तो ऐसा. So we need to look for different perspectives. Fixed mindset, brain is set and cannot change, is wrong. We need to have growth mindset. Think, brain is a muscle that can flex and grow. Okay, yes, divergent thinking is very important. Yes, Dr. Carroll said, viewing one's qualities as unchangeable slows down or stops one's growth, whereas viewing one's qualities as skills, yes, see the difference is, okay, qualities as skills that develop over time through efforts helps to be more creative. So that is important. Okay, so unchangeable slows down or stop. Array, I'm the best. It stops the growth. I can do one wonder and wonder, do and do. Thank Lakshmi. So true of intelligence and one's capacity to think. So what are not this? These slides are going to be, I hope so. These should be the takeaways, okay? So that you can implement. So what are the strategies that we need? Okay, see, think and wonder. The best strategy is see, you can see this slide. Okay, you can see the slide. Okay, you can also click it. All of you, try in your own way what you see in the slide. Okay, can you tell me what you see in the slide? What you see, think and wonder. Just put in the chat box, few of you, what you see in the slide, what you think, and why you wonder. Just a few words. I'll be very happy that yes. So you can tell the students to see, wonder, think, and wonder anything. Yes, yes, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to few of the participants. Yeah, crystals, very good. I'm very happy. Yeah, Neelam, Aftab says crystals. All crystals, what else? Other than crystals, what else? What else? Okay. You see, what do you think? Okay, okay. Self, okay. Science teacher must be looking self. Yes, what else? Pattern, very good. Drawing teacher could be. Pattern. Yes, what else? Something else, Gulans. You have seen, you are thinking. What is a wonder you find out? What do you finally think of? One or few words for the wonder. You have seen, you are thinking. What are you wondering? Okay, bubbles also you can see, Aklina. Okay, what is a wonder? Web. Yes, web. Okay, what else? What else? Any philosophical view? Extrovert thinking, yes, Rakesh. Okay, what else? Colors, okay, what else? Something else I'm looking forward to. Okay, how you wonder at this? Okay, okay, one answer, one more answer. Wonders, how you wonder over here? Shapes, okay. Don't you wonder at God's creation? I'm just thinking. I'm thinking. You can think of. See why I'm saying the students can. You just think. You are able to think in these ways. Let a student think. He may talk in maths terms. He can see hexagonals. He can see triangles. He can see shapes. Whatever. Anyhow. So idea is in the classroom also. If you have a painting over there, tell the students to see the painting, think and write a paragraph. Okay. That is, he will think critically. You can give it a group work also. They will argue, collaborate. Okay, they will communicate, and they will wonder, and they will come with conclusion. So this you all of you can plan in the classrooms to develop critical thinking. Let them see anything. You give them. I mean, if you want to develop it as a in objective and subjective, both the ways. See, think, and wonder. Okay, then give students a problem and allow enough time to think. Oh, thank class pending also nobody felt good. Give students a problem and allow enough time to think, improve the quality of responses. Let them be accountable for sharing views with the rest of the class. Yes, more critical thinking is retained after the lesson. They discuss and reflect. Allow everyone to listen to the points of view of all and conclude. This is important. That is a strategy. Okay? Thanks. Extrovert thinking, extrovert thinking. Okay? No. No. In order to develop Good evening. In order to develop thinking skills, we must increase the difficulty level of syllabus. See, every time we need to, in setting our question papers also, while you set the question paper, you also, plan out easy questions, average questions, and tough questions. Slowly, why? Because those who think critically, they will definitely go to the tough questions. It's very, not only in mathematics or English, in any subject. First, you know, increase the difficulty level. That creative thinking are completely different from each other. See, already I spoke about that. Yes. Critical thinking and creative thinking are different. How? Okay. Okay. Now, there, discuss for this, discuss case studies, real world scenarios, group discussions, foster collaborative learning. Yes, real life related questions. I agree here. Very good. We can also talk about, planning for future, whatever. Okay. Examples of everyday life. Ask them about health choices. It can be any simple thing. Let them, health is wealth. Normally, when I was a child, even I had learned so. Even now people say, but why? Why it is wealth? How they can think? All the you can think, pair and share. Please select some topics and tell the students to go for group discussions that fosters collaborative learning. Technology integration, online forums to enhance their knowledge and skills, online whatever. It's a good way to enhance their knowledge, enhance their knowledge and skills. See, all the E's are important. Encourage inquiry-based learning. Encourage open-ended question. Yes, open-minded test. Yes, open-ended questions. Exposed to different viewpoints of conclusion. I'm 100% right. No. Always let us accept others' viewpoints also. Encourage assumptions. I'll be talking about Socratic method. What is I will talk about? Encourage to explore possibilities and evidences. Examples of all these are important. Okay. Examples of everyday life. I think Rakesh said so. So example of everyday life you have to think of. Okay. Then debates on current topics you can give, but here is a suggestion. Uh, Give their current topic of their level, which will help them. Okay, example, studying abroad, studying in India. What is better? You can think of. That can be current topic, not political issues. Okay, but you can talk about this. Fishbowl discussion. Here you have to make two circles. It's a very, very good example. Fishbowl discussion. You can make two circles in the class. Yes, okay. And give one problem to the group inside. Okay, let outside observe what are they doing, how are they discussing, how are they answering. Okay, it's a good discussion. Then exchange the group. जो बाहर था उसको आप अंदर कीजिए और उनको टॉपिक दीजिए. Let them discuss, and then outer people, those things, outer side group. This is fishbowl discussion. You can try this in your classrooms. Okay. Thanks, Mahesh. Jahan. Role play. Role play is very important. You must be doing it. Check your drafts and OFI and develop metacognitive skills. You know what is metacognitive skills? Metacognitive skill is always keep on improving yourself. A skill to develop, okay, yourself. Questioning techniques, probing questions, clarifying questions to develop critical thinking, solving questions. I tell you, we had a teacher long back who is no more now. He would take mathematics. What he will do, he will put first question, then one or two points of solution. He will leave all the steps and he will give the answer. Oh my God, students had a tough time, but they will do it. He said, अगर मैं सभी बता दूंगा ready-made, तो नहीं चलेगा. So let us come out of the ready-made system. Let the children think critically. Let them find out. We should not give anything ready-made. Nothing to be given as a ready-made. Let the student think of. That is important. Okay. So probing question, clarifying questions to develop critical thinking. Case studies. Here also identify the problems and uncertainties. What exactly is the problem? obtain information, make predictions about the future, make decisions by choosing among alternatives. These are the ways. Implement the decision, evaluate performance. Now, concept maps, create visual maps. Okay, help to organize thoughts, identify patterns. Okay, jigsaw method, students in small groups with different topics. This is also, and get expertise in one topic and learn. This also you can do in the class. Give them one topic, learn, come back. See, in junior classes also, we tell the students, okay, come on, tell a story. They come and tell a story. We understand that how the child is speaking, how is he presenting, how is he thinking. We develop his thinking skill. First, develop thinking skill, then creative thinking. Okay, so reflective writing develops metacognitive skill. I told you metacognitive skill, a skill to develop own use. Even I tell you, if I tell you to draft something, you will draft, redraft, and redraft. That is your metacognitive skill. Okay. If you are given a work by your principal, you keep on doing it, keep on refining it. Refining is metacognitive skill in simple words. Keep on refining own skills. That is metacognitive. Fallacies. This is fallacies. A brief, I'll discuss a little more about this. It's a belief about a premise that is held to be true and certain, although there is no evidence to support it. Fallacy and error or wrong moving reasoning. Common types of fallacies. I will be talking about this later. Okay. Assumption, a belief not based on proofs. Sufficient assumptions prove that assumption is true. So true conclusion. Your assumptions are your windows to the world. Scrub them off every once in a while or the light will not come in. Okay. So fallacies and assumptions are important part of critical thinking. I give you an example. Okay. You have gone to a hotel, okay, or you have gone to a hotel. Before you enter, you saw there were two men on the road. Okay, what would have happened if they met with an accident? Are they bleeding? Do they need any help? So many things will come to your mind. Okay. Or if you go in a room, open the door, suddenly you hear the creaking sound. Oh my God, what is inside? Is it a ghost? What else? Okay. Think of. Idea is let them assuming. Assumptions talk about assuming. सोचते रहना क्या हुआ होगा, कैसे हुआ होगा. These assumptions are important aspect of critical thinking. Sometimes, here I tell you, when I had read this somewhere that in class KG, a child is taught by the teacher, or taught or told in the class, once upon a fairy land, even now children love fairies and the magical wands. When they grow a little, they try to find out. When they grow further, oh, these are assumptions. Then he realizes, ऐसा कुछ नहीं था. Are you getting my point? So, assumptions but need to be enhanced. Here, critical thinking, yeah, thanks. Critical thinking also needs, it has cognitive skill. Bloom's taxonomy, you must have heard of cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domains. Version of Bloom's taxonomy, creating, evaluating, analyzing, applying this I also spoke about. That is cognitive domain. You should develop the cognitive domain of the students. Just a minute. Yeah, affective domain, internal affective domain in a nutshell, I will say it talks about value system. It talks about internalizing values, organization, valuing, responding, and receiving. Just a minute. Psychomotor. Okay. In a simple words, I will say, let us try to develop the psychomotor skills of students. Okay. And cognitive domains. Now, psychomotor. Bloom's taxonomy, old and new. Evaluation has changed into creating, synthesis into evaluating, analysis into analyzing, application into applying. You can click off certain slides if you think good. Comprehension to understanding and knowledge to remembering. Okay, these are the just yeah. Now there's Webb's technology as well that speak, for the students, recall the details. Let them conceptualize. Let them go for strategical thinking and then go for extended thinking. Okay, these are the parts of web's technology. Identify and summarize the major events. Describe the event. See, idea you need to tax sometimes the brain. Think critically. Why? That is very, very important logic. Support ideas with details, research, context, questions, apply and context. So recall the detail is very important. Conceptualization is equally important. Strategic thinking is equally important. Okay. Analyze, synthesize, create, and prove. This is in a nutshell critical thinking. In a nutshell, critical thinking. Analyze, synthesize, create, and prove. No, this is again strategic visual thinking. See, think, wonder. I gave an example of the slide only. Routine headline. Yeah, tell the students. Routine headlines. Newspaper headlines. What kind of thinking does the routine encourage? When and where can it be used? Class discussion. Launch. Where are some tips for starting using the routine? Think, pair, and share again. Develops observation, interpretations. Okay, allow them to read newspapers, whatever it is, and let them see, think, wonder. Let them read the headlines. This is important. Inference refers to this is again a building block. It refers to a logical process in which new conclusions are arrived from the given premise. Okay, it is a method of creating new knowledge from prior or given knowledge. That is inference. Inference is important because it refers to new logical process. Okay. Now, modeling someone's artistic representation. Yes, role of leadership. Yes. What makes you say that thinking routine, picture reading, transcribed conversation, these are, some strategies to develop reading literacy. बच्चे कहते हैं इंग्लिश के लिए what comprehension we know but no comprehension really speaks about the qualities of understanding the topic. There are scientific literacy. Inductive arguments help make them scientific generalizations that can predict or describe the natural world. Deductive, think critically about critical thinking. Logically, valid arguments may not always be true. Thinking critically may not be the only way of justifying. Okay, now I'm talking about abductive reasoning, deductive reasoning, and inductive reasoning. Without discussion, can you tell me which is the best out of these three? Which is the best? Abductive, deductive, or inductive? इस तीनों में सबसे अच्छा कौन है? Just one logical answer I would like to get in the chat box. Which is the best? Abductive, deductive, or inductive? If one of you can answer, I will be happy, or I will explain. Abductive, deductive, or inductive reasoning. Think of fast. I have given you something to think about. Okay, yes, Rakesh, deductive is the best because it has specific conclusion. Yes, correct. Now, assumption. An assumption is essentially belief about a premise I told you based on imagination. Okay, they help create new knowledge and fill in the blanks between reality and possibility. Wrong assumptions need to be changed. Okay, now necessary assumption for the conclusion to be true. You see, this is a beautiful example. Socrates was born once, not defective. It is deductive, deductive. Okay, please correct. Socrates was born once because only those are born can die. Socrates is a man, all men are mortal. So this is necessary assumption. Okay, thanks, Rakesh. Now, what is sufficient assumption? Okay, yeah, deductive is the best. Correct, Priya. I think all of you understood. Now, sufficient assumption. This is an example, same example I will be taking. Okay, that would prove that not necessary. Other mortals too. See here, because Socrates was a man, he is mortal. That is necessary assumption. Yes, but sufficient assumption is that all those who are born will die. Maybe animals, maybe birds, maybe reptiles, whatever. So that is sufficient assumption. Thank Gulnar. Yeah. See, Alex said, a few observation and much reasoning lead to error. Many observation and little reasoning is important. A few observation and much reasoning lead to error. So observe and go to reasoning. Fallacies. Fallacies are errors or wrong moves in reasoning, may be deliberately made to mislead others. Yes, Bandhan deducted. Fallacies are often humorous once we understand them. Be aware of deliberately misleading or persuasive form of arguments like advertisements, newspaper, fallacies, not as social media plan. Sorry to say, everything is not correct. Everything is not correct. So let us be aware of misleading and persuasive advertisement. अरे किसने कहा घड़ी डिटर्जेंट यूज करना यूज घड़ी डिटर्जेंट व्हाई is it because of advertisement? No. Use this water. Why? Because is it advertisement? So let us analyze. Let us critically think about advertisements as well. Social media, oh my God, now people have stopped, believing much on WhatsApp. Yes, me too. Yes, because it's not always correct. Sometimes it misleads. So let us be aware of fallacies which are not correct. These are wrong moves in reasoning. Those who advertise, वो तो कहेंगे मेरा product अच्छा है. Yes, let them say, but we have to decide. And it is just an example. Okay, so let us guide the students how they should be aware of fallacies. So let us develop a love for truth and fairness as well as accuracy. Make us learn to examine own process of reasoning and validity of conclusions. Learn to be more critically aware while considering or engaging with the claims of peers, books, experts, and other sources of knowledge. Okay, so critical literacy. Now, talking about critical literacy refers to learners' ability to analyze text or information or uncovering hidden perspectives. Critical literacy we taught as a skill that enables to understand that claims can be viewed from multiple perspectives. This is very important. Multiple perspective is important. Okay, so let us look into various points of view. It is better to debate a question without settling rather settling a question without debating. Okay, so let us, in a nutshell, let us allow children to discuss. Let us not stop discussions. Okay, so it is better to debate a question without settling rather settling a question without debating. Okay, no. It enables to understand that claims can be viewed from multiple perspectives. It actively investigates diverse perspectives to the reliability of our own thinking. It's better to read, compare, sorry, I repeated, read, compare, wonder is a part of critical literacy. Healthy discussion is very, very important. Before we conclude, feedback is very, very important. Okay, sometimes we always want to have feedback, fine, but how to improve upon the feedback, that is important. Feedback is important, but important is, I missed out when I was talking about uh, fallacies that sometimes, as I said, we should be careful of ads, okay? And sometimes we think, oh, experts have said, so we should follow that. No, 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 no. So feedback also we should look into. Now, these are three very important aspects of critical literacy. Analyzing, as I spoke about, reliability of sources. कहाँ से आया, क्यों आया, कैसे आया. Strategic and critical evaluation, that is the feedback. Okay, feedback kaisa hai, how are the things? Seeing and investigating perspective is equally important. Perspective as lenses and tools to view issues and claims from multiple viewpoints. This is part, okay? Reliability and source, reference material I spoke about, and print resources such as encyclopedias, textbook. I should not say, you will agree with me that there are mistakes in many textbooks also. Do you agree? Textbook, मैंने देखा है. Sometimes we change the book. उसमें किताबों में गलतियां होती हैं. And the students are valid. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. But anyhow, we should find the fact. So reference material हो, textbook, whatever it is, e-books, whatever, we should always, check the reliability and source. Videos, multimedia resources, which may be sourced from internet, कहीं से भी ले जाते हैं और लोगों को बताते हैं. Idea is we should be critical, being teacher. Not only we should be teacher. I don't mean here that we should always say no to everything. I am just saying we should analyze. Analysis is important. Different perceptions are important. Evaluation is important. Then take a conclusion. Okay. Now, this is important. All of you allow children to ask 5 questions. Who, what, when, where, why. To determine if a source is reliable, credible, appropriate. And not only that, for anything, we should ask these questions, these W questions. Who, what, when, where, why. This is important. Then only we can analyze, okay? Then lenses. This is important. I would like to talk about lenses. We cannot remove our lenses and see the world objectively as it is. Okay. Yeah. No doubt students find resources. Yeah, we should. But see, I should say you must be aware of ChatGPT. Yes or no? ChatGPT. Yes or no? I'm asking yes or no. Yes, Gulnaz. No, give a practical to student. Copy down from ChatGPT because it makes ready-made presentation for them. You have to outsmart them. Let them take help, no issue, but let them create their own. Then only they will learn. Otherwise, kuch nahi hoga. So we need to be more outsmart and more smart than students. So we cannot remove our lenses and see the world objectively as it is. Get a more reliable picture of the world by exploring through lenses of others. What is lenses of others? That is the perspective of others. Not only me, how you see the world. That is important. Examining the limitations of own perspectives and being more open to those of others. Let us be open-minded. That is important. Let us not close our mind and think we are right. Let us be open-minded. Your lens hai na? Lenses of others. Let us get others' perception also. So the strategy is, this is the lens. Okay. Now, cyber troops. Flood the zone with social media. I spoke about that. Fake story to appear authentic, fake news, whatever it is. So, हमको इसकी authenticity को check करना है lenses के through. Software that perform automated. I spoke about ChatGPT, automated task. Okay, thanks Anuj. No, we are all born with a set of yellow lenses, inbuilt innate lenses which can never be removed. What is this? This is our own perspective. हमें जैसी दुनिया दिखती है. Okay, we are born with a set of yellow lenses. These are inbuilt. So we should also need to change our perception. These are our own perspectives and points of view by our families, our culture, and social context. Thanks, Alok. But we see the world through lenses of inbuilt perspective. अब हमें करना क्या है? Reality is not yellow. It is our perspective. So what are yellow lenses? ये हमारी सोच है, ये हमारी धारणाएं हैं, ये हमारे विचार हैं. That makes us sometimes very, very stern. What is important? That we should see with the lenses of others as well. Now, conclusion is develop critical thinking skill. Focus on actively questioning assumptions. As I gave you the example of, the men, 3 men. Suppose you go to a hut. There are 3 men. Okay, they are dead. So many questions. What happened? What they've eaten? If somebody has, whatever. So they are thought-provoking questions. So give them the lenses, give them the assumptions, ideas, tap their thinking skill. So develop critical thinking skills. Focus on actively questioning assumptions, seeking diverse perspective lenses. Diverse perspective are the lenses, and analyzing information thoroughly. Engage in activities like structured debates, solving puzzles, and reflecting on your own thought process. As someone wrote about that Everyday activities can be critically thought of. Can be thought of. Everyday activity. Can you give an example? I'll give a simple question here. That traffic rules. Okay. What can be critical thinking on traffic rules? Just give me 2, 3 answers. Then I'll move further. It's not concluded yet. I give a question. Critical thinking. Are you not thinking critically about traffic rules? Okay. Lens are sources. Yes. Okay. Okay. I'm talking about traffic lights. Yes. Hmm. Hardly people follow the rules. Is it not a matter to be thought for? Critically think, guide. The world cannot change. Let us change ourselves. Any suggestion for that? Okay. Okay, I will conclude. Now, again, finally, critical thinking is not just about intellectual analysis. It is very important. Critical thinking is not about just intellectual analysis, but also about self-awareness. Thanks so much, Farooq. But also about self-awareness, compassion, and making choices so that we lead a fulfilling and meaningful life. Please remember the word intellectual analysis. Now, here I will suggest intellectual analysis we should do for ourselves also. Yes, moral thinking, that is SWOT analysis. We should look into our strong points, look into weak points, look for the opportunities. Let us channelize our thought process and do analysis. That is our own critical analysis. Okay, intellectual analysis. We are talking about others' critical analysis. Why not do we think ourselves critically? What are our good points? What are the areas we need to improve? If we do our own critical analysis, we can allow students for intellectual analysis. That is important. Self-assessment is important. Then we can assess ourselves. Thanks, Rishi. Okay. And making choices that lead to a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Teachers are the key to more students, said Swami Chinmayanandaji. It has been said by Swami Chinmayananda. So you are the key. You can change the student. Now, when the right type of student, okay, one who is fit for the knowledge, meets a true teacher, the transformation that takes place in the student is almost miraculous and certain. And you are the teachers. You can do wonders. You can develop thinking skills. You can develop 21st century skills. Critical is one aspect of that. So critically thinking, you can develop the creativity. You can develop the collaboration. Okay. You also can develop the communication. Okay. And then I'll just show a short video here. Yeah, I stopped sharing my video here. I would like to know from you any questions. Any questions, I'm available. Any questions from anyone, you can put in the chat box. I'll be answering. I'm available for 3-4 minutes. Any question? See, I would like to say that critical thinking is important. It develops, it enhances various other skills as well. But at the same time, first we need to analyze ourselves intellectually. Then we should try to mold the students and guide the students. Okay. Any questions? No question, Nita? Okay, thanks for the appreciation. That's fine. But critically analyze what else you want from me. What can I give you? What else can, how can I guide you further? Okay, in a nutshell, I will say for developing critical thinking skills, develop a skill, let them think over, let them analyze, let them discuss, okay, let them see the pros and cons, let them come to a conclusion. That is critical thinking skill. And this is the most important in 21st century skill. It is one of the most important critical thinking. Okay, I have given some suggestions, whatever are applicable, I think you should try to. And always remember that Pareto principle that speaks that 10% effort, 90% results. Great idea. You have to sow the seed. That's what I showed in the last video. Just sow the seed. You sow the seed and the outcome is wonderful. That is important. Okay. I would expect that let the teachers give because you are the role models, you are the change makers, you can make changes. Only we can do changes and the parents can do. Yes, but the students listen to the teachers more. So henceforth, thanks a lot, all of you. Henceforth, please remember, fine, although creative and critical are different, but you cannot put this is creative, this is critical. Through critical thinking, you can develop many other skills as well. That is important. Thanks, Bangat. Through one, it's all in all, you can see, showed me one of the teachers wrote about slides. This is like a web. Yes, it is like a web. So critical thinking. Oh, my name is VIPIN, Vipin Sharma. Shall I write in the chat box if you want to know? Okay. Okay, my name is VIPINSHARMA Sharma. I just write here. Somebody asks me. Okay, once again, before I close, I must say thank you, everyone. Thanks to Patna. Thank you, Subhashri ma'am. And thanks, everyone. I would appreciate one question.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thanks is fine, but I was looking for a question. Okay, let us see. We meet again sometime. Okay, thank you and Hari Om once again. Thank you, Patna. And thank you, Subhashri ma'am from Jamshedpur. Okay.